Hi everyone, Matt from Cambridge Longbows here again. This is the second video that I'm doing, and I wanted to talk today about using scrapers and sandpaper. Scrapers come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, so depending on what type of effect that you're wanting to create. A scraper is basically any piece of metal with a bevel turned on the edge of it. You can use old saw blades, bits of glass, work very well. Some people use Stanley knife blades, or even just a normal knife will do the job. To put a bevel on, you basically make sure that it's completely flat. If there are any undulations, you can put it onto a belt sander and that will help to level it out. Clamp, and then you use one of these. It doesn't have to be a burnishing tool, it can be any old screwdriver, and you just run it across with both hands like this until you've turned an edge. And the bigger the edge, the bigger the scrapings that it creates. When you are down to the tillering stage and doing fine touches on a longbow, this is the tool that you'll use more than anything else. So this is the bow I was working on in my last video. It's tapering down quite nicely. You can see the U-riser in there. So this is almost ready to go on the tiller, but this bottom limb here is quite a bit stiffer when I'm floor tillering it. So again, all you do is you have your scraper and you just run it along, and it brings off tiny little slithers, really very fine amounts of wood, so you can get very good control over removing wood, so that you get a much more efficient bend, because you want the limbs to work uniformly when they're bending. Watch out with scrapers, because they're fine if you're working with two hands, so one hand on either side. I always find that after a while I start getting blasé and I start using them like this. So I'm holding them with my two fingers either side of the stave and I'm running along. And invariably at some point I slip and I drag one of the edges across. Problem then, you end up with a big gouge in the wood and you have to then smooth it all off, but again that will reduce the poundage of the limb. So be very careful. If you're going to use it one-handed, have the fingers either side of the stave with the scraper in and then run it this way. That way you're not really going to slip. And when I slip and when I make mistakes is when I'm rushing, so don't rush it. Very good. You need these. Buy decent ones. I get most of my stuff from Axminster as always. Different type of scraper, which I've just discovered, which is superb, is this. Now the scraper blade is in the housing, so it's not particularly big. It's got a handle on, so you can use two hands, so you've got a lot of control, and it removes a lot of wood very well. So again, it's, as scrapers go, it's a fairly aggressive tool, but if I run across here like this, you'll see it's lovely. It gives you greater control, removes more wood, and yeah, I'm really impressed with it. I don't know why I didn't try one of these earlier. Okay, so that's scrapers. Sandpaper. Again, if you're very fine tuning the poundage of the draw weight on the bow, you'll move from a scraper down to sanding paper. Now, everyone knows that sandpaper clogs. Sandpaper can be, a real pain. So what I like to do, I like to use this stuff. It's a mesh, sanding mesh rather than paper, so you can see my fingers through it. So when you're using it, you'll get the build-up of material in it. All you have to then do is just tap it, and it all falls out, so it just doesn't clog. These last hundreds of times longer than normal sandpaper. They cost more, but they're absolutely worth every penny. Another trick is, with a longbow you want everything to be uniform. You don't want any undulations in the wood. So if you put your sandpaper onto a flat surface, you then sand out all the undulations as you go. So it's much smoother, and you don't end up with any dips or potential hinges in the bow limb when it's bending. So, and then again it clogs, you just take it off, give it a shake, back on you go. Yeah, very good. creates a lot of dust though, especially when you're shaking it out the whole time. So something that I have that I like is it's a suction system for the sandpaper. Fits onto my Hoover, so when it's going, it just draws. There's a load of holes in here, and this is Velcro, and these Arbanet pieces literally just Velcro on. So again, as you're going, it sucks all the most of the dust up into the Hoover, which is really good because you don't want to be breathing it in. And again, because it's flat, you're sanding out all of those undulations within the timber. So again, it gives a really nice, smooth, even finish. Yeah, I've tried other things. I've tried this recently, which is just it's like a sanding block, which it's good, but again, it clogs. I don't really like it very much. But what it is perfect for is if you put your sandpaper over the top, and then again, you just get to work and you get a really good finish. So that is scrapers and sandpaper. And again, I hope it helps. Bye.